The destruction wrought on this tarmac is second only to the stories told and the spectacle witnessed year after year. Up next, the Lake Erie Speedway continues in a monstrous tradition. The crowd still filing in to see what has become one of the premier shows of the summer season, the All-Star Monster Truck Tours stop here at Lake Erie Speedway, one of our favorite stops of the summer. But earlier this afternoon, here was the scene. It has been an absolute thrash for one team to get back into this thing, and it was your overall champion from last night's action, Triton Robbins, the Crazy Train, the entire crew working to put that truck back together after a wild freestyle run. He kept it upright, but you can see he damaged just a little bit of everything on the truck. The transmission, the drivetrain, he had some shock damage there. He took the shock guard clean off, and it was this run right here. Now this stop, he normally wouldn't hurt too much, but when he slammed the rear end down, you can see it took quite a hit, and then this right here when he tripped it, you can see the sparks coming out from underneath. Also running the truck as long as he did, he got it very hot. Montana Robbins has been dealing with an ongoing issue with the rear brakes binding, and you can see right there the sparks coming out. They have been working to try to get that problem rectified. You see those eaten up brake pads right there. Now, Team Throttle Monster was not without their problems. A tire went down on the kamikaze machine of Devin Winfield. Right here, he slams it into the ground. It was already leaking out. He finally just ripped the hole wide open. It was no longer a slow leak. It was a massive hole that needed to be patched. And with some help from his friends, he was able to get a patch on there, get the rim back inside the tire, and after literally muscling, strong-arming that tire back onto that rim, it is remounted on the truck, and they are ready to go in front of this crowd here today at Lake Erie Speedway. We will see, though, is everyone back to 100%? That is going to be the question as we roll into action. Remember, we open with best trick, we'll go to racing, and then freestyle. Possible 60 points available to the teams here this evening. I was wondering what he was going to do when he rolled out here for this best trick competition. Trying to preserve that tire. I have a feeling he's not going to hit any obstacles. May give up this competition to ensure he can make it into the racing bracket and freestyle, where he could really do some damage. Nice cyclone down at center track on the flour, the dust, and a little bit of water. Got in some slick stuff, and it is very hard to find a slick spot on this track. Believe it or not, there is a ton of bite when you are on a pavement track like this. The tires really don't want to let go. In fact, it slows down the steering, but he made the most of it, and the tire appears to be holding up, so he'll take it back to the pits and throw an air hose on it immediately. Only scores a 4, probably will not hold in there for the top spot in this lineup of trucks, but you got to tip your hat to him keeping the truck in the field for the night. Now, Deirdre Ballard, Miss Overboard out of Indiana, part of the Garner Towing Monster Truck team. Wanted to work it into a slap wheelie, but the rear end came off the ground, and the opportunity just never came back. And believe me, if there's one thing we've learned over the years, if you land on the throttle on this surface, it's rather unforgiving. Elliot Miller can certainly attest to that. That outside lane's going to have a little fight coming out of the first corner when we come back for racing, as she lays down some rubber just past the back stretch over there between turns 2 and 3. Nice run for Ballard. Should be a takeover run. It will be a 6 for Miss Overboard. Definitely impressive. Now, the runner-up, the 2023 All-Star Championship Series, the Marquette Savings Bank Chevy Silverado, the Empire Flyer, Plain Crazy. This is Montana Robbins, and he knows that his brother is here to win 2 in a row at Lake Erie. This is their hometown show for all intents and purposes. He does not want to leave anything on the table, and he opens up with perfection here. An awesome stoppie. Set it down right on the other side of that race ramp. Again, perfection with that stoppie into a moonwalk. What does he have left for this crowd? Keep in mind, you have to treat this like sort of a mini freestyle, almost a slow freestyle. You can set your moves up, but you need each one to be a little more impressive than the other. You want to one-up yourself. He's definitely set the stage here. Dragging the wheelie bar and the flag, Plain Crazy lays it down and gets it done. Now, what is the score? Keep in mind, his brother won this competition last night by laying down exactly the run you just saw. He just copied the run that Triton laid down last night. I don't know if that was intentional, but I'm interested to see what happens. We're going to listen in to Chuck Plumley right now. He will come back with the scores.
Judges, take a look at it. We know the Kamikaze had the 4. Miss Overboard had the 6. We score out of 10. Oh, the score is in. Get this. Plain Crazy.
Did what he had to do. He just made it impossible for anybody to jump over him. So points-wise, it's pretty much over. You can tie him. You are not getting over him right now for the overall. Here comes Tim Hall Jr. now in Jurassic Attack. Opens with a classic sky wheelie. The truck appears to be doing better now than it was yesterday. He also had mechanical problems. In fact, the problem they were having is the entire self-center tube on the rear steering was getting knocked out of place every time he would turn the rear tire. And it looks like it's hanging in there today. He repositioned it, and the truck is looking awesome here tonight at Lake Erie Speedway. Probably not going to take over, but an impressive run nonetheless. Brand new equipment all around. It's a brand new body, a brand new chassis. The shocks, the tires, the wheels, everything is brand spanking new on this truck. He will lay down a 7 with Jurassic Attack. So not going to get over that 10, but let me tell you something. There's 2 guys left in the field that are going to shoot directly at Montana Robbins. What did I say? How about John Taylor getting after it in Wildside? Got the slap wheelie on one wheel. Putting a little fear into the camera crew tonight as he goes whipping by, laying down a little rubber on the infield. Wildside, living up to the hype. What is the score? Look at that. What an incredible run.
Is it enough to beat the Plain Crazy 10? Is it enough to tie it? The score is in Wildside. 9 points.
Not gonna do it, and a couple of boos from the audience. Now, as our final competitor rolls out, last night's overall champion, Triton Robbins in Crazy Train, going after his own younger brother for the how many time this year he has had to do that. Boy, he is going straight after his brother. How about that for impressive? Hops right over the race roller on the front tires. over and just hops right over it. '23 Series champ out to prove that was no fluke. Hit number 2 coming up. What a ride for Triton Robbins. Crazy train all the way over from vertical to past vertical. While we wait on the scores, we're going to go ahead and show you this again. This right here was incredible. Made it look so simple, but he just skims the top of the race roller with the front tires on the brakes, tumbling forward without putting the truck on its roof. And then he saw what Zimmer did, and he combined the runs that were at the top of the fleet. We head over to Chuck Plumley now with the scores.
The judges' score is in. We know Plain Crazy had the 10. Crazy Train. Another perfect 10. We've got a tie. The brothers, for the first time in history, have tied with perfect 10s here at Stafford Services Best Trick Contest. Make some noise for Montana and Triton Robbins. We're going to need your guys' help here to determine a winner. That's right, you guys are going to decide who's your winner here in Best Trick Contest. Who believes it was the Plain Crazy? Who believes it's the Crazy Train? Oh, our judges want to go one more time. Who believes it's the winner, Plain Crazy? How about Crazy Train? They are saying Crazy Train is the winner here in Best Trick Contest. He's down here with Brian Wagner for our winner victory lane.
Absolutely incredible. It was 2 perfect 10s. We haven't seen that in many, many years, much less against your younger brother. You guys are going to give each other grief about this all the way home on that short drive home. Tell us what it was like when you saw your brother throw down something perfect. What was going through your mind to think, I have to top that?
Well, you know what, I'm thinking to myself, you gotta be kidding me. This is gonna be just about impossible to beat. But I seen John Zimmer come out and lay down a good move that I really wanted to try. And I had to just combine both and hope for the best to get a perfect 10 and see what would happen, you know?
You have got this crowd absolutely electrified going into monster truck racing. Now, last night, the only thing you weren't perfect in was racing, and the only guy who was able to beat you was that guy right there, your brother. Do you think you got what it takes to take him down tonight?
Well, you know what? Both lanes have advantages and disadvantages. Drivers prefer the left lane over the right lane, but you know what? I want to beat him in the right lane. That's the slow lane, but that's my fast lane. It's time to go.
All right, that's coming up here in racing soon. Now, you love to give those trophies away when the crowd is this hot to somebody wearing some of that crazy train merch.
Yeah, that's for sure. That energy you just gave us with that cheer up, I want to double it. So who wants this trophy?
Well, the hardware going the way of the train. Montana Robbins just stole the rental car, so I guess Wagons and Triton will be hoofing it back down to the pit area. As we are going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more from Lake Erie.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. Stay up to date with photos, videos, event info, and more at monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For an inside look at the monster truck phenomenon, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
There's only one place in the world you can find this much old school cool. Freedom Racing Monster Trucks. The home of Cyclops and Unnamed and Untamed. Get yourself a limited edition toy at freedomracingmt.com.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, the place to get your motorsports fix.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway in the northwestern corner of the Northeast on what's already been a wild night of action as we prep for round one of Monster Truck Racing Eliminator-style bracket, an S-shaped course. All 6 trucks will compete here tonight. As you saw our previous night's coverage, we only had 5 in the bracket as Tim Hall Jr. was unable to make the race, and the guy who benefited from that, who got the bye into the semifinals, is the guy who's on the line right now in the lane he wanted. He's in that right lane. He said he can go faster out there. Triton Robbins taking on Devin Winfield and Kamikaze. Good first turn for both trucks. Looks like Winfield stumbled maybe just a little bit, but he's hanging in there. Will the tire hold up? I'm not taking anything away from Triton Robbins right now. Winfield was trying to give him a run, though, and that left front tire going down made it nearly impossible when he made that final outside corner. It was starting to roll over the side wall of the tire and letting the rim get down there and touch the ground. It made it almost impossible for him to make a nice, smooth, fast turn. Our next pairing will come up as Triton Robbins will move on into the semifinal round. Here comes Miss Overboard, Deidre Ballard, out of Indiana. She will stage against another big bad Chevy Silverado, the Empire Flyer. This is Montana Robbins in Plain Crazy. Remember, he is tied in points right now at this event with his brother Triton. This racing bracket will be that tiebreaker. They met in the final round last night, and it was a Donnybrook. The winner was Montana in Plain Crazy. Triton does not want to let that happen again. Ballard very smooth through the first turn. Montana is gonna have to go some. Ballard pulling off what would have to be called an upset on this weekend. Again, take nothing away from Deidre Ballard, but as quick as Montana Robbins has been, she really had to be smooth to pull off that victory right there. And when you have that inside turn coming back toward that final straight over those final race ramps like Montana Robbins did, you have to have a bigger lead going in, or you're really going to have to push to try to catch up to the truck that's got the wider run. On the outside lane, you got more momentum coming from that outside corner now as the other member of the Overboard team here this weekend, John Zimmer in Wildside, taking on Jurassic Attack Indiana against Utah. First race passes on the weekend for Tim Hall. Quick to the inside corner with Zimmer, but he stumbled just a bit. Remember, he was first to the finish line in the first race run of the weekend when he got disqualified. Did not make that mistake here. Both trucks solid runs, but it will be John Zimmer picking up the victory in Wildside and moving on into the semifinal round. So the 3 trucks that have already made it there will be Triton Robbins and Crazy Train. He will match up with Miss Overboard as we will get a quick look at the pairings right here. Miss Overboard, who beat Triton's brother in round 1. Of course, Montana will be back as the fast loser. He will face the winner of the matchup you just saw, that being John Zimmer in Wildside. So, New York versus Indiana for all intents and purposes, even though one of those drivers is out of the state of Vermont, representing Team Overboard out of Indiana. We will see if we can get 2 Overboard trucks or 2 of the crazy machines out of the Empire State in the finals. Will we have a repeat of last night? It's possible, but there are no easy gets in this round. Deidre Ballard has not been slow so far tonight, Triton Robbins, even though he's in the lane he wants, he's got to be smooth. Even start. Ballard over the turn marker. Completely mows down her turn markers. And she hits him again. Triton Robbins going to be first to the finish, and I don't even know if he needed to be. It looked like Ballard actually had one tire off of the race roller there. The little roller going into the final jump at the end, and that's the same thing they got John Zimmer last night, and she mauled both of her turn markers, so she might have been out of it anyway. So Triton Robbins will go to the finals, but look at this. He's pulling back into the main pit area, all the way back over by his trailer right now. Something wrong with Crazy Train. We're going to find out exactly what here in a moment. The word is that he was not getting drive off of those rear tires. There you see Ballard collect that first corner turn marker. I believe she was already disqualified right there coming into the final. She hit both turn markers, and then there, yes, she went around that obstacle. That was a DQ. Now, Robbins locks it up right there at the end. You can see it briefly as Ballard was in front of him from our field of view. We couldn't tell, but he may have torn the rear drive shaft as our final pairing comes out to face to see who will go up against Triton Robbins in the finals, and that's if Robbins can get the truck fixed. So a lot of developments very quickly. Look at this. Montana Robbins staged on the wrong side of the track. I don't know if he didn't see the yellow tire or he's just that excited, but he actually staged on the wrong side of the starting line there, and there was no more starting line left to stage. Draws one tough competitor here in John Zimmer, who just took the best turn he's taken all weekend long. Final corner. It wasn't pretty, but Zimmer will get the job done. Robbins tried to make it close at the end. They were both all over the track, but Robbins not having the drive again. He had that same problem in that first corner that he had in round one. It pushed wide on him. They gave Zimmer just enough of a leeway to back out of it and make sure he was true for those final two jumps. And look at this. The left front is coming off of Kamikaze. You saw the disgust on Devin Winfield's face. He will have to now throw a spare tire on there, and it's a brand new Harper. They really didn't want to smoke it on this pavement here. And there's the culprit that has put Crazy Train back in the pit area. A torn drive shaft. They are now having to work with very little time to try to get that thing off. And they're going to have to pull the U-joint out, get a whole new U-joint assembly put up underneath there. They're going to have to check and make sure they didn't do any other damage, because the word we got is he felt a tremendous vibration under the truck, and you can see it broke that drive shaft clean off. And they're actually having trouble getting that side shield off right now. That's not a bad thing, though, necessarily, because that part keeps the rotating pieces from coming out full force and flying away and potentially injuring someone. But they do have it off now. As you can see, get a good view of the where the drive shaft actually goes into the bottom of the transfer case. And once they get a new drive shaft under there, hopefully they'll be able to make it back in for racing. Certainly they will be back for freestyle. We'll find out, though. Can Crazy Train make the call for the championship race? Stay with us. Work continues underneath the Crazy Train. You see they do have a new drive shaft going in, but they're having some trouble lining it up. You see Devin Winfield over there. John Zimmer is actually over there helping them out. He wants a race with Crazy Train in the finals. He does not want to see his number one opponent here this weekend drop out. The whole crew working hard to get this truck back in the action. We're going to look one more time at the run that broke the truck. You can see again Deirdre Bauer mowing down the corner markers. Pay no attention to that. She didn't have a bad run in between. Earlier she had a great run, but right here, keep your eye on Crazy Train in this final drive. And you see the truck trip just a little bit right there. He may have broken that rear drive shaft when he came down in between the roller and the final ramp in the race lane. They are just about to where they need to be, but they are running real short on time to get that truck back in the action. They've got about 20 seconds left to roll it out here. And there he is. He will make the call. Triton Robbins rolling out in Crazy Train. He will do battle with the future Hall of Famer John Zimmer. Right there on the checkers. Chevy-powered Silverado, the Hoosier bow tie taking on the methanol-burning locomotive from just down the road in the Buffalo, New York area. Wild Side and Crazy Train. John Zimmer hailing out of Arlington, Vermont, representing this team out of Indiana with lengthy background, driving a lot of trucks, including Gravedigger, so you know he's not afraid to put his foot in it to get a win, taking on one of the best young talents in the business out of Lawton's, New York, Triton Robbins and Crazy Train. Robbins hard into the first turn. Will that hurt him? Zimmer with a good drive. He'll have the outside lane on the final leg. It will be Wild Side. A rough ride for both of those guys across the finish line. They almost get together at the end of the track. John Zimmer had to check up for a moment, but it didn't matter. He had the drive going away. Wild Side picking up the racing victory here tonight at Lake Erie Speedway, and a popular victory at that. And you see in the background, look at that Crazy Train headed back to the trailer. More problems for the big red train out of Lawton's, New York. Let's watch it again. Great turn for Zimmer. Look how wide Robbins went. He was flying through there. He said that was his fast lane. He didn't look slow, but right here, it looks like he may have broken that rear drive train again. Look at the sparks come out.
The racing winner, we saw once again the Crazy Train go back to the trailer. You saw sparks flying out from underneath the Crazy Train when it crossed the finish line. So I'll keep you updated on that. We know Crazy Train has drawn the last card, so he will go last in freestyle. So he is, well, he's up against the clock, but he does have the most amount of time possible here tonight to get it back together. But he's out of the truck. Your winner, John Zimmer, Wild Side.
I tell you what, John, you talked about it in the pre-show here. These young kids are out here absolutely throwing down. They're wild, they're crazy. The stuff they're doing is unbelievable. But us old-timers that's been around this game a little while can show a thing or two, and you laid it on them in racing. It's got to feel so good.
Yeah, it does, man. You know, this is a cool place to come here, Lake Erie Speedway. I came here last year with Zach Garner and my son Jonathan. This is like grassroots for us. You guys filled these stands tonight on a Saturday night. This racetrack is so cool and different because it's almost slow as fast. And honestly, in a truck, guys, it's really weird to drive, but it's a lot of fun. but I'm gonna cut this quick and short. I gotta say thanks to the Robins. I remember training in Montana when they were little baby boys, just like my son and Zach Garner. It's so much fun to watch them, I tell you. I love you guys. I'm not done yet. I've done this for 24 years. I promise you, I know how to freestyle.
And Freestyle's coming up again. You're going to stack these trophies. Montana and Flint give you away over.
Yeah, there's no doubt because of our fans, man, because we get to live our dreams. So, yeah, this trophy stands right here.
He's looking for a wild side man.
Well, Zimmer going to give away a little hardware. And speaking of hardware, it is rolling out of the toolboxes up there in the Crazy Train camp. As there you see Montana Robins hauling butt to get back up there to help the family. Right now, though, we're going to get a points update from Chuck Plumley.
Out of the possible 30 points against John Zimmer in the Wild Side. So Wild Side, your leader with 29. Crazy Train in second with 27. Plain Crazy in third with 25. Miss Overboard in fourth with 21. The Dinosaur in fifth with 20 points. And Kamikaze running out the field with 17 points. We are down to the final competition here at the Marquette Savings Bank All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Live from Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste Services and presented by Monster Mashers. Race fans, I've got one big question. Who's ready for no time limit, no rules, All-Star Monster Truck Freestyle?
We're going right into it. You saw the points there. Kamikaze at the bottom. You see the spare tire on. He's got nothing to lose. He would like to, though, drive this thing in the trailer, but he is not going to let that stop him from getting wild. Sheriff Devin out of Las Vegas, Nevada, driving the big Ford Raptor out of the state of Utah. What does he have for this crowd? Again, not going to have to worry about keeping air in that left front, but that set of tires has been around the block and then some. You may remember that tire and rim combination from the old Eddie Micah built Hurricane Force of Tim Menti and Steven Thompson. Well, the chassis went to this team. It's not the truck you're seeing right here, but those tires ended up on this truck, and well, it looks like they're down to 3 as far as that tire and wheel combo as we watch Devin Winfield go to work in Kamikaze. Is laying down a nice one right here to open things up. Winfield, fairly new to this team, but certainly not new to the wheel of a monster truck, as he's now in one of the best pieces of equipment he's ever had underneath of him. And you can see the shock package working nicely, soaking up everything he's throwing at it. He got some big air off of that bus. Came straight down. Now as he goes way out around turn number 3, what does he have up his sleeve? I think he was hoping it would whip into a donut coming back around the first time, but it just grabbed and drove him straight in. He didn't want to get into those barriers. Now, coming back around that same corner. Back to the bus. The truck is definitely living through it tonight. That hit right there was exactly what took him down last night. And Devin Winfield locking it up in front of the grandstand, slides to a stop. What a run for the big Raptor out of Utah. Devin Winfield opening things up in fine fashion. A strong opening statement for Kamikaze. We wait on the scores.
And the score is in at 8 on use of course, 8 on momentum, a 7 on the wow factor. Kamikaze scores 23 points.
Well, there you hear it, 23 points for Devin Winfield opening up freestyle. Here comes Miss Overboard, Deidre Ballard, hammering on it. Remember, last night there was an issue with the fog rolling in and taking away their view. She's got the windshield out of the truck here tonight. Big hit for the big black Chevy from Indiana. Deidre Ballard is not looking to lay down tonight. She was not happy with her scoring last night. Looking for a little revenge here on the rest of the field. Even if you have a way outside shot at number one, everybody wants to win here at Lake Erie. You're really getting a good indication as to what it's like to drive one of these big monster trucks on pavement, especially with blockers front and rear. You see how hard they're pushing through the corners. It makes it so they're really not snapping into the corners. They're sliding way wide, and it's giving them trouble lining up for these obstacles. But once you get the hang of it, you're good. Where you can get in trouble is if you're going up or down the bank, because it changes the trajectory of your turn coming in or out. But she is getting the job done here tonight. Little dust devil down on the infield, and I don't think she's done yet. Slides it to a stop. Deidre Ballard in Miss Overboard running hard. Did she take over the lead? Remember, Devin Winfield came out and laid down a solid 23. What did Deidre Ballard do? It was a great run. Was the momentum enough? Was the wow factor enough? The use, of course, so far looked pretty good from our three criteria. We wait to hear from Chuck Plumley.
And the scores are in. Kamikaze had the 23. Miss Overboard goes 8 on use of course, 6 on momentum, 6 on the wow factor. 20-point score for Miss Overboard. But I know she can hear you. Let's make enough noise for the Miss Overboard. All right, so that's it. End of show.
world-famous C60 Cyclops, the infamous Dodge Carryall Unnamed and Untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a Mudbogger turned monster truck at freedomracingnt.com.
The dyno rolls out here at Lake Erie Speedway. Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack. Back to 100%, the Redline Oil Machine, the Eddie Micah built brand new truck out of Utah. Thing looks as strong as he'd like it to be coming out here tonight. He's a new driver to the team and a brand new piece of equipment. Combos in there. Nice momentum in that as he hammers the face of that race ramp. Momentum is great so far. A little searching right here, but he liked what he got off of this ramp. Really the first time he's gotten to really leg this truck. It's taking whatever he's throwing at it. Getting sideways right there, twisted on him. But that is what the fans came to see, the dinosaur. Getting it done here on the banks of Lake Erie. That's going to hurt him right there, stopping back up. But he made it worth it. What a shot there behind the backstretch. Under the lights. Tim Hall Jr. putting his foot in it, letting it eat. A little fire underneath. Just coming off the brake rotor. We will wait on the scores. But the crowd absolutely loved Jurassic Attack. That has got to be worth some points.
And the scores are in. We know Miss Overboard had the 20. Kamikaze had the 23. The Dinosaur in 8 on use of course. 6 on momentum. 7 on off factor puts him in second place with 21 points. But I know he can hear ya. Make some noise for Tim Hall Jr.
That had to feel good after the problems they were having last night with the rear steering. It just kept taking him out of competition. In fact, he didn't even get to lay down any race passes. Now, though, a guy who would love to roll out of here with the overall championship, and it's going to be tough because he did not finish where he wanted to in racing. He had a perfect score in the best trick competition, but came up just a little bit short, only made it to the semifinals in the racing bracket. He was the racing winner last night, but he did not get the overall. Out here tonight looking for number 1 in freestyle, Montana Robbins, picking up right where he left off in the best trick competition, and again sets it down right on the other side of the race ramp. From one move to the next, he's already off to the kind of start he's going to need to try to lay down a winning run here at Lake Erie Speedway. The Marquette Savings Bank, Plain Crazy, living up to its name. Already seeing those sparks out of the rear brakes. And again, a problem he's been chasing for like 2 years now. He cannot seem to get it figured out. But it's not stopping him. They're not biting like they used to. That's a good thing. Not taking him out of competition. In fact, it might be helping helping him here because getting a little fireworks with the big speed, big air, and wild moves he's laying down, and the momentum is so far second to none. Talk about a fireworks show, dragging the wheelie bar, sparking it off the pavement. Montana Robbins looking for a perfect score tonight. He may be well on his way. Just hammering it for all it's worth, man. Montana Robbins in plain crazy. Flying around the Lake Erie Speedway. And I gotta say something. For years it was said that you could not get a good slap wheelie off an Eddie Micah chassis. It was not easy to do. These guys are proving that wrong year in and year out, week in and week out, and he just put on a clinic, soaking up some love from the crowd here, close to home for these guys. They came to play. You can see he's done some damage.
We got insane here on Lake Erie Speedway. The judges, oh man, they want to look at the flags one more time. Let's see those checker flags one more time. And the score is coming across the screen for the second time this season, the second time this weekend. It's a perfect 30! Make some noise!
Picks up the projected freestyle victory in Crazy Train and sets the stage for our final two competitors, and the best they can do is tie him and hope to take home the hardware on crowd applause. Wild Side and hopefully Crazy Train will be coming up when we come back. Stay tuned, more to come from Lake Erie Speedway.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
2 to go here at Lake Erie Speedway. Up those two. First up, the Chevy out of Indiana, driven by the man out of Arlington, Vermont. John Zimmer, Wild Side, the future Hall of Famer at the wheel of the big bad bow tie. Get started in wild fashion. Huge air off of a small obstacle. So far, this momentum is the best I think we've seen. He's on move to move to move. He's not wasting any time between the obstacles. Keep keeping the noise up, and he grabs a slap wheelie off the bus, dragging the wheelie bar, sparking it across the pavement. Again, not spending too much time setting things up, just whatever is near him or in front of him, turns the truck at it and nails it. And if you notice, last night's champion in freestyle and the overall, man, I think he forgot there was a K-rail and he slams the race roller over there with the sidewalls of the tire, trying to get it locked up. I think he was going to try to sling it around and come back to the bus, and he made contact with one of the freestyle obstacles. Definitely heating things up as he works the track to perfection, the smoke curling off of those big harpers. What a run for Zimmer, shooting out of 30. Did he do it? Keep in mind, the guy who's leading the field right now, he's got an Eddie Micah chassis. The guy who won last night, Eddie Micah chassis. This truck right here, an Eddie Micah chassis. These Eddies work so well here at Lake Erie Speedway. They're great, well-rounded trucks, and continue to prove that. Definitely because of Lake Erie, we tend to see a few of these every year, and they work so well.
Wildside scores a 10 on use of force, a 10 on momentum, and a 9 on the wow factor. 29 points for the wild side. And I'm hearing word that the Crazy Train has got it together. The Crazy Train has fixed it. Who wants more?
There you hear it from track announcer Chuck Plumley. We will indeed see a run out of Crazy Train. I mentioned the Eddie Micah chassis. Here's another one right here. This is the guy who won it last night, and he did so in a flourish. Nearly destroyed the truck beyond repair for today, but they worked their tails off to get that thing back out here for action. Will the drivetrain hold together? That is the question right now. The 2023 Monster Mashers Series All-Star Monster Truck Tour Champion hits the track to try to win 2 in a row. If he does so, though, it's going to be on crowd applause. His brother is already sitting at the top with a 30. Taking some chances, he teetered on one wheel. Got a little out of shape, got it back in shape, and proceeded to slowly moonwalk on back. There goes the rear drive shaft, look at that. Absolutely detonated the rear drive train. Ripped the loops out and everything. That was a massive detonation of that rear drive shaft. And unfortunately, that will end the run way too early to pick up the freestyle victory, but it will go home with the team out of Lawton's, New York, 2 nights in a row. However, Plain Crazy's freestyle victory was only enough to net him second in the overall points. Wildside with his second place in freestyle after doing so well here tonight, including getting a racing win. John Zimmer picks up the overall on night number 2, the Marquette Savings Bank overall points victory here at Lake Erie Speedway for 2023. So the train walked away with 1, and Wildside walked away with 1 this year. I cannot wait to be back here next year. In fact, as I said the last time out, the beginning of 2024, it really kind of starts here because you're seeing the remnants of the 2023 point series. The thumbs down from Triton Robbins and the presentation of the detonated drive shaft. They got both parts of it back. Now they have to go find the loops because those disappeared somewhere into the track. Although they did do their job, kept that drive shaft from pinging straight off of the chassis or straight off of the pavement there and flying up toward the catch fence. Again, safety number one with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.